Outsourcing and Downsizing, Why Companies Choose These Strategies. April Freitas, MAN 4900, Professor Lepervanche. Organizational structures and organizational design play a role in defining and enhancing organizational performance. Organizational design is valued as one of the top key criteria for a business to be successful in today's business world. Global business trends and development of information technology have played a role in allowing new trends in organizational design to emerge. Downsizing and outsourcing are being used by companies to achieve higher levels of performance in the long run. For a long time, many thought that by maintaining tight control over all the functions and processes, that it would provide the greatest amount of management control. However, companies who are trying to remain competitive are considering to outsource and downsize as a means of sustaining their competitiveness. Outsourcing activities can have a 20 to 40% reduction in costs. Many companies choose to outsource in today's economy. Manufacturers today outsource 70 to 80% of the content in their finished products. Large companies choose to outsource their IT operations, back office operations, human resources, payroll, and accounting functions as well. Outsourcing for companies is a means to operate more efficiently and reduce costs associated with labor and time for developing products. If outsourcing is used correctly, it can transform a company and can increase its competitiveness. Two large companies that have used outsourcing are IBM and General Electric. IBM has been criticized with deciding to lay off workers in the United States and move jobs overseas to places like India. India has well-educated workers who can work for less money than the companies are paying here in the United States. This can benefit IBM as they are putting out less money for employees and still completing the job tasks at hand. IBM has stated that it needs to build its workforce where the company is seeing growth. This can give IBM the competitive advantage in their industry because they are moving to where the sales are greater, creating an opportunity for continued growth for the company. If the competitors cannot keep up with the competition in other countries, then IBM's potential will continue to grow. According to a Bloomberg Businessweek article, the industry has changed because it used to only be about cost, but now clients want just not cost, but business performance and innovation in their processes. That's primary. It's now across the board. General Electric has for many years outsourced their job tasks. This has enabled the company to become a leader in the outsourcing of American businesses. General Electric has been successful and the company experienced greater growth by outsourcing. However, with the change in the global economy, some of these jobs had to be returned to the United States as times and technologies are increasing. One of the most important factors is that General Electric realized that their technical capabilities were not really their own. The company decided to move these IT jobs back to the United States to improve user experience and add to their competitiveness. By bringing back these tasks to General Electric, it allows the company to move quickly to develop programs that respond to technology demands. General Electric was one of the first pioneers, along with General Motors, to choose to outsource, and they have learned by experiencing the positives and negatives associated with contracts in different countries' laws and regulations. This has mostly been a positive growing experience for General Electric as they have been able to continue to be a leader in their industry despite their setbacks. There is a difference in the outsourcing used by the two companies. IBM has been able to drive profits by outsourcing, and General Electric has been successful in realizing their potential by outsourcing, which was successful for many years. One difference between the two companies mentioned is that IBM continues to move to where they are generating the most revenue and sales, and General Electric has decided to discontinue some of the outsourcing on the basis of technology and to create a better customer experience, which will help the company to be successful. Both companies have had their strengths and weaknesses by outsourcing jobs and services. The companies are both leaders in their industries and probably will remain as having the competitive advantage in their industries as well. The companies have both realized that by outsourcing some tasks, they can only continue to gain growth and success. Downsizing can sometimes be a result of outsourcing. Companies use downsizing to improve their financial standing by reducing and/or changing the structure of the workforce. Some cuts may be driven by the decreased demand for a firm's products and services or as a result of outsourcing labor and manufacturing for a cheaper price. Downsizing generally has been known to have a negative aura, even though some companies must choose this option in some cases to survive and remain in their industries. Even downsizing is a must for companies who are experiencing high demand because the company must look for ways to increase their operating efficiencies. According to Henry Hornstein, over the past decade and even during the current recession, a number of companies have resisted the downsizing fad and made alternative arrangements, for example, Southwest Airlines. These alternatives typically exploit the skills and expertise of their employees instead of placing increased pressure on the survivors of downsizing by asking them to take on responsibilities of dismissed employees. So therefore, when downsizing is on the table, other advantages to choosing not to lay off people can come into play, and companies can still be successful. When downsizing proves unavoidable, the goal should be to eliminate non-essential resources while trying to minimize the negative impact felt on the remainder of the organization. Managers must calculate and weigh the value of all costs, including severance packages, the possibility of lower employee productivity due to loss of workers, and future rehiring expenses. The company or organization must do a lot of upfront planning for the job cuts as well. Determining a process that will take into account the best interests of the company and training managers to conduct layoffs and possibly assist employees in finding new job positions will also be beneficial. In my career as a future manager, I am sure to experience the trends of outsourcing and downsizing. By understanding why and how companies choose to downsize and outsource, I will be able to be effective in the organizational management structure of the company in which I am employed. In doing this research, I now have a greater understanding as to why companies choose these paths. In recent years, the economy has forced many companies to downsize and outsource their operations. I have seen this firsthand in my current job position. Companies often have no choice but to downsize their employee base as a means of cutting costs to boost or maintain their profitability. As a future manager, I now recognize that downsizing can have effects such as damaged employee morale and poor public relations. When working for any company, one must be aware that skillful downsizing can help a company emerge from challenging economic conditions. By finding ways of being creative, a manager can try to avoid downsizing and eliminating employees that are truly needed. By instituting hiring freezes, salary cuts, or salary freezes, shortened work weeks or days, and restricting overtime, downsizing may be avoidable in some cases. I will try my best in my future positions to be able to take this into account when having to make these management decisions. I plan to make sure what is best for the company and the customers it serves is foremost in my mind. Being a manager involved in either of these processes, one must possess certain skills that include being a great communicator, be able to develop a team that is successful, and be a good problem solver. All of these skills will help to keep the organization in good working order and well managed. Communication skills are a must in any management position. Not only will you be able to communicate effectively with your team, but you'll be able to understand and explain information needed as it relates to projects or changes in your work environment. Having the skills to develop your team will allow you to learn and use all of the employee resources effectively, leading to a greater potential to get all of the job tasks completed in a timely and cost-effective manner. Being able to recognize the potential of each team member, you will find the best mix of talent that will lead to a greater company culture. As a manager, learning how to balance any problems that may arise and having effective time management skills will allow a manager to fully utilize the potential and make the working environment stable. I feel I will become a better rounded manager entering the job force with a skill set that was learned by experience and expertise. In conclusion, many companies make the choice to downsize or outsource based on their financial position and create positive future growth. IBM and General Electric were both companies that were successful in outsourcing to improve their financial standings and continue to grow their company in the United States and abroad. Downsizing in today's economy is somewhat a normal trend as many companies are choosing to move operations or some of the company's organizational resources to cheaper firms that can provide the same benefits for a cheaper price. Many companies have chosen to downsize and outsource operations and call centers to India, which offer a skilled workforce. As a future leader, I believe the research I've done in this project will provide me with extra skills to be a competitive manager. Being able to be knowledgeable will provide me with a large array of great opportunities and experiences. Thank you.